Yes, I'm able to.
Yeah, the recording has also been started. Over to you, Lavina.
Thanks a lot, Ram. Let me share my screen. All right, I hope my screen is visible to you all. Hey, very good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the call today. Myself, Lavina Kalra. Before we begin the session, let me give a quick brief about myself. I have started my Scrum journey 2 years back, and currently I'm working with HSBC Limited in Pune itself. And that's a little bit about the Scrum journey that I have been through. All thanks to Ram. His coaching and mentorship has really shaped my career in the most right direction that I have always been looking forward to. And yeah, with that, let's begin for the actual agenda today. On the screen, you might be able to see a word which says AB fall. Now, you all must be thinking we were talking all the way about lean and the three M's of lean that we are going to talk about. But a quick question, have any one of you ever heard about the word AB fall? Does any one of you know what it means?
No.
Okay. Um, that's basically a German word. AB fall is a German word which says waste. It means waste. So when we talk about lean, we always talk about how to eliminate and identify the waste in the process that we are going through. So AB fall is basically a German word that we have taken. That today's agenda is going to be, we'll be talking about the three M's of lean. What does the three M's stands for and what does it mean, how you can implement that in your system, in your process of Scrum, and all of that we are going to touch. It is going to be a very brief one, so do take your notes, and if any questions, I'll take them in the end. So let's talk about the history first. I'll not be deep diving much into the history because that's something that does not, uh, excites much all of us, but we should know what we are talking about and where it led the footprints from. So I'll be briefly touching upon the history first. If we talk about lean first was took birth back in 1797 when Eli Whitney invented cotton gin. Basically, his main agenda to invent a cotton gin was to process the cotton faster. He also talked about interchangeable parts and standardization. The standardization that you see in the nuts, bolts, screw, the standardized sizes that you see in the market even today holds a very relevant place in even in today's time. So he was the inventor of that standardization and interchangeable parts, and who worked on the cotton gin to process the cotton faster. Later on in 1908, Henry Ford, yes, the owner of Ford Industry, came up with an assembly line for mass production, moving a material from with using conveyor system. And till now, you all must be thinking that this is not really related to lean, not talking about anything waste or lean thinking. It is not touching anything. Then how we can say that this is related to the history of lean? Well, you must note a point that these particular history and the points that we have taken from the history basically was the foundation who created the structure of lean. And if you think about these two, history inventors, Eli Whitney and Henry Ford, they basically came up with standardization, moving material fast, which talks about doing more with less. I'll repeat it again. It basically rely more on doing more with less. So with the conveyor system, you can do more with lesser and lesser efforts. With the standardization, you can do more, you can have lesser and lesser inventories and have lesser wastages in the system, in the production, in the manufacturing system. And that's where these inventions particularly laid foundation for lean to take birth from. Now, the owner of Toyota industry, and it's not Toyota, to the very surprise, it's Toyota originally. In 1926, Aikichi Toyoda, who is the owner of Toyota Industries, invented textile power looms And he was a remarkable inventor of 5 whys technique as well. You all must have heard it many a times, the 5 whys technique that we use for root cause analysis or for the quality control. And Saikichi Toyoda was the one who invented that. Later on, his son Kachiri Toyoda took over in 1937, and he established and renamed Toyota as Toyota Motor Corporation. Now, both of them, the father and son, were the one who really worked on the lean philosophy, what to do about it, how to actually implement it. While they were the thinkers, the inventors, the actual person who implemented lean in Toyota Motor Corporation or Toyota production system or Tata production system was the chief engineer Taichi Ono. So the idea was of Sakichi and Kachiro, and the actual person who implemented this and focused more on the lean philosophy and everything, all the implementation part was actually done by their chief engineer, who was Taichi Ono. Now, this was a brief about lean, how it took place, and how it actually came into picture. We need to also understand why we talk so much about lean in today's concept. Back during the World War, there was a lot of economic crisis. Very few skilled people were there. Competition was like anything. So we had lesser hands to do more. That's where the concept of lean took more tandem, and it took an acceleration right from there, wherein the focus was how to do more with less, and that too with speed and quality. And that's where lean took birth from. And the whole idea talks only and only about how to identify and eliminate waste while working in the system. Now let's touch upon the 3 M's that we have been talking about so far. The first M of lean is Muda. It means waste. Again, Muda is a Japanese term which means waste. And anything that does not add value to your system, anything that slows down your process, or anything that reduces the quality of the work that you have done is a total waste in terms of lean thinking or lean philosophy. We'll take quick examples. We have always been talking about defect leakages in our trainings. Defect leakages, why we talk about like how to reduce them, how to minimize them, or how to avoid them. We are always talking about that. So defective product, if came into picture, it basically reduces the quality, because again you have to work on that fix. It can be a hot fix, it can be a fix that would require analysis, time, testing, development, implementation, and again a release, so on and so forth. Again, this whole together a process is a repetitive process which could have been avoided if you have built the quality product at the first place itself. So this is slowing down your process. You are not able to focus on the actual work. You are rather working on fixing the product which is not working as expected. So defective product can be one example of such waste. Overproducing can be another example. Now, we always say in lean, produce just enough. Produce just what is needed to the customer. Just because you have a capacity does not mean that you can overproduce or you should overproduce, because ultimately it is going to create an inventory. Now, creating and maintaining inventory is again an overhead cost that you may incur uh, during that process. So, in terms of lean philosophy, any inventory that we are creating out of that overproducing is a waste, and it should be avoided. So, JIT means just in time. Produce just in time, because customer may need it today and may not need it tomorrow. So rather than overproducing, being optimistic that it will be sold out, be little bit conservative and produce just in time. That is one another example. Then again, queues. I'll take example here of IT industry. Um, let's take an example where in a team you have 3 developers and 2 QAs, or per se 1 QA, each developer, like 3 developers and 1 QA. So 3 developers are going to work on 3 stories. By the end of second day, 3 stories would be ready. But there is only 1 QA. So he can pick one story at a time. While he's testing one story, the other two story would be in a queue waiting to be picked. Now, what is this doing? This is basically uh, overproducing again. So, creating a queue, overproducing, or maintaining an inventory are all examples of Muda or waste in terms of lean philosophy. The last example is transportation. Now, think of a manufacturing unit which has been set up far away from the city, and for delivering it to the retailers, it has to take a road of 100 kilometers daily basis. Now, what this 100 kilometer is doing, this is creating again a transportation cost. So, lean says build as close to the customer as possible so that you can reduce this time. We often talks about quick market to time, right? So this again, the time that is going to be consumed from bringing that from manufacturing unit 100 kilometers away to the customer is again something we are losing opportunity every day. So basically, just to summarize, what does Muda says? Muda says anything that is not adding value, anything that is reducing the process, slowing down the process or reducing the quality is a waste in terms of lean philosophy. I hope you all are with me so far. With that, let's jump on to the second M that we have. Its names is Muri. Again, this is a Japanese term which means overburden. Now think of beat machines or beat people when overburdened or overloaded with work. There are a lot of chances of accidents, risk of injury, and loss of mental and physical health both. Think of machines being overloaded when they are overused, overproduced. Again, they are going to shut down or break down at a certain point of time. Again, the cost that you might have to incur to maintain them or to get them repaired is going to add on as an overhead cost, which could have been avoided if the machines are utilized just enough so that they get rest in between and they are not broken as well. Same happens with the people. Now think of yourself, if you have to work for 18 hours, 20 hours in a day on a continuous basis, there would be point in time wherein you will feel burnout, you will feel lesser and lesser energy, not focused enough. The efficiency will also reduce. So the idea here is machines, be it machines or be it people, we should not overload them or overburden them. And this in turn creates Muda. How does it creates Muda? Again, think of and remember where we talk about eliminating waste or wherein the quality is being sacrificed, we are over processing things. And ultimately, when people are suffered, when machines are suffered, the quality is going to be decreased. There would be more and more defects in the system. Again, rework, 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 which creates Muda. So, Muda, the waste, creates Muri. The Muri creates waste. Overburden creates waste. So, the Muri creates Muda. So, this is how you can relate the two M's that we have talked about so far. The third and the last M of lean is Mura. We talked about overusing and underusing capacity and the of the machine and the people. So what Mura says is neither the two of them are good. Overloading the machines, overloading people, or underutilizing machines or underutilizing people, none of them is really actual lean or actual lean philosophy. You need to find a balance, a fine equilibrium between both the things. Be it machines, be it people, be it workers, it should be evenly loaded. Anytime it is unevenly loaded, it is going to create either Muda or Muri. How? If we talk about this, if people or machines are overloaded, it is going to create Muri, and ultimately there would be more defects, more queue in the system, and the quality will be reduced, the process will be slowed down. So, to summarize, we have three M's in lean: Muda, Mura, and Muri. Muri creates Muda, and Mura creates Muda and Muri. So The basic idea and the philosophy says you need to find a fine balance where you are producing just in time, where you are producing just enough, and try to bring the product as close as to the customer so that the time to market is also reduced and the quality can also be maintained. We can do more with less and less capacity, can take competitive advantage in the market, and ultimately produce in speed as well. So, this is the basic and the very simple idea of three M's, or these are also called enemies of lean, which should be avoided at all cost. So, I'll rest my case and my presentation with the three major takeaways from today's presentation, with which you can actually implement this in your current organization wherever you are working. It can be brought into any process, be it manufacturing, be it production, be it IT system, be it sales. Think of any area and you can have lean implemented there. So, what are the key takeaways that you can take from this presentation would be build to the demand and not to the capacity. We have been oftenly pressing this more and more that just because you have a capacity does not mean that we will overproduce or create an inventory. So build just to the demand and not to the capacity. Second, Kaizen mindset, which means lean is something that is not that cannot be like implemented once and you are done with it. You have to continuously think and identify the processes that are creating waste into the system and you have to reduce them. One quick example would be having status meeting three times a day with different stakeholders is not going to add any value. Rather, think of how you can have one meeting in place of 30 minutes and have all the stakeholders in the same call so that you can reduce that wastage of recurring meetings for the same agenda, and then not adding any value because it is going to waste time of all the team members, right? So think of Kaizen mindset, have a continuous improvement in place, and do just enough. Do just what is needed, do just what is required to the customer, and not overproducing or underproducing anything. And with that, I rest my case. And if any questions, I'm ready to take that up. Thank you.
Hey, Lavina. Thank you for the session, Lavina. And let's hear the questions from people. And
Sure.
it was really good session with all the
Thank you.
details. And you actually you said it is just a outliner, but you went very deep into the discussion on the topic, which
Thank
is
you.
very good. Yeah. Okay. People, any questions? As a scrum master, you will see a lot of people, in fact, telling that we multiple meetings on the same topic is actually a waste of time, and this discussion always
Yes.
happens between a scrum master and developers.
True.
Right. Right, anybody disagrees? No questions?
That it's
Hmm.
either too clear or too clear.
Yeah. Okay. How many of you heard lean, or this Muda, and the three words, right, for the first time?
Yeah, Mura, Muda, and Muri. Like
Muri,
first
yeah.
time I heard this lean thinking. Like we
Mm.
whenever we
It's
were
a part of six
studying.
Sigma, yeah.
Yes, yes. The Scrum guide is there, right?
Mm.
Yes, in that.
So even in the interview, the questions will come, yeah, for a Scrum Master role. The question will come: how do you apply lean concepts in your Scrum implementation, right? And your first step would be identification of waste, and waste could be a discussion point, or it could be unnecessary meetings, it could be anything that is not adding value. Identifying that is going to fix a lot of problems. And till the time you do not identify what is waste, what is non-value added step, removal of that step becomes challenging. And therefore, if you see in operational excellency, you see a lot of operational managers, when they publish the reports, they focus on creating a flow and identifying a step that is not needed in the flow.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it also a kind of impediment, Ram?
No, not impediment. It is kind of a slowdown, to the
Mm-hmm.
entire process, right?
Okay. Okay.
You're getting my point. You are traveling on a faulty vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
right? your
Okay.
your productivity is not going to be optimized. That is the whole point,
Yeah.
right? Let's say you are not comfortable with some shoes, and you are wearing them, and you want to walk fast, or you want to maybe take a run. Then your optimal usage is reduced because of the defect. Okay. All right. I would request people to come on camera, and be seated, so that we can. I would like to click a pic here. This will be great. Yeah, come on the camera, guys. I'm just going to click a pic. Give me a minute. Let me. Can I take over the?
Yes, yes, Ram.
Yeah, just a minute. Let's all be on camera, please. Hey, Dushan, good to see you. Hi, Akbar.
Thanks.
Hey, Satya. So we have to become
Hi,
camera
Ram. Good
friendly,
morning.
guys. No more, hiding behind the camera.
Scrum
Okay.
Master themselves are not switching on the camera is something that you are going to deal with later on.
Yeah. I think I will have to take over the. Yes. Just a minute. How do I switch to the view? Just a minute. Okay. Let me stop the recording here. Thank you. Thank you, Lavina. I'm just stopping the recording. Thanks for
Sure.
the presentation and the inputs that you have shared. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Ram.